Anyway.
Mr. Netherhold, have you heard of the critically acclaimed...
Mr. Sato, have you heard of the critically acclaimed award-winning MMO Final Fantasy XIV?
No, you're not going to buy anything more. You're not going to buy a subscription to that.
No. It has it lets you play all the way up to level 70 now.
Yeah,
for
actually.
Free. So I don't have to buy anything. Only on Xbox.
Well, they got to start somewhere.
Well, I'd rather it didn't suit me anyway. I mean, these hats are ridiculous.
Oh,
my
okay.
boy, I don't say those hats are ridiculous one bit.
Who are you? How'd you get in here?
That's not Herlock Sholmes.
At least you can take a hat off. Once you have a chomeji, it's John your head for good.
Oh my god,
write that down.
jokes.
Write that down, Mr. Sato. Write that down.
What's up, everybody? KVTV on the Sun, and we're all back for the Great Ace Attorney Escapades. We are now visiting Mr. Natsume. I'm assuming somewhere after his whole case and stuff, and we're gonna have a little bit of I guess the nuances of Japanese and English in this episode. I remember this. Some of the
Welcome to the video where we all butcher the Japanese language.
We're here to have an intervention with Mr. Natsume, so he knows to never let his name be used for a company down the line that will go and betray other developers.
Is this a Harvest Moon joke?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Oh my god. February 23rd, 6:09 p.m., Mr. Natsume's room. And still as messy as ever.
So, Mr. Natsume, are you really returning home to Japan?
Yes, indeed I am. Everything is arranged already.
Is it?
Oh, I guess Iris is here, so we have 5 characters. Who? Oh, that's fine. Unless somebody else wants to play Iris, just for funsies.
We'll be sad to see you go. And after Riddle worked so hard to prove your innocence as well. What a shame. It feels like it was all a wasted effort. Don't say that! I know what you're suggesting.
Now calm down, Mr. Natsume. It's all fine, really.
You're in good company here, sir. If you fear the Reaper, you needn't hide the facts.
Sir.
Did you make a chair out of the books?
I am a proud citizen of the Empire of Japan! I am not a scaredy cat!
Talking of cats, Mr. Sholmes just casually threw one amongst the pigeons there.
What? Wait, what? He just threw a cat? What? Huh?
It must be some kind of saying.
I don't know this saying at all.
Neither do I!
A man like me belongs in Japan, not here. That's what I've come to realize.
I wonder. A mustache such as yours is eminently suited to London, I would say.
There goes Mr. Sholmes throwing another cat in.
Oh.
Oh, throwing a monkey wrench. Alright, I get it. Alright.
I get it now, yep.
Oh, did you look it up?
No, we just figured it out
I'm
here.
basing.
Oh.
No, I'm guessing based on context clues.
Okay.
Because he keeps quipping into Saseki's little remarks.
The moment I arrived in this city, I noticed. Everyone in London laughs at me behind my back, like hyenas.
If they're doing it behind your back, how do you know?
Ha-haing horribly.
Ha-haing horribly? Ha-haing horribly?
Yes, ha-haing horribly. You heard me.
Okay, it is a British idiom used to describe a disturbance caused by an undesirable person from the perspective of a group.
That's Sholmes, alright.
Yeah, that sounds correct. Yeah.
I'm sure that's not true, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, but it is. Whenever I turn around and peer down the fog-filled streets, all I see is foreigners everywhere.
Because you're in London.
You're so sorry.
You live in London.
Well, there's you, Runo, Susie in here, so that's 3 foreigners out of 5 people. I take your point. Only the other day, I was taking a stroll through the fog as usual, when a young man approached me from ahead. He was pale and gaunt, his back arched like a cat, Observing his wretchedness moved me so deeply.
Let me just do a little note here. So, slight technical difficulties, guys. I am still recovering from sick, and so Seki, as much as I love to play him, is not an okay choice today. So, I have to stop. So, who's gonna take over for me?
I'll do it.
Good, because you know Japanese. Let's go.
I thought to myself, I'm not the only one suffering in this hell. But, do you know what? Can you imagine? It was just my own reflection in the shop window. A stunning, stinging, stupefying surprise!
Oh, you're doing good, man.
Don't forget slap in the face.
Everyone started laughing at me. Gentlemen thereabouts, ladies passing by, even the man in the shop window.
But that's you!
Oh yes, and a certain great detective would like to be included among the mirthful.
You were there? Mr. Sheldon's really going for Soseki-san today.
He sure is. What did he do to you, man?
He knows why.
Well, I, for one, think you're a very handsome man, Mr. Natsume.
There, did you hear that? This 10-year-old girl thinks you're handsome. Isn't that wonderful?
God damn it.
That makes me feel suspiciously warm inside.
He looks genuinely delighted.
The point is, we Japanese are humble and modest. Studying on foreign soil, surrounded by foreign people, how could anyone possibly enjoy that?
Ryunosuke starts sweating.
No one could! It's impossible! If you're a genuine Japanese!
Huh. If you say so.
Actually, it would appear there is someone. A Japanese man who studied in a foreign country and seems to have thrived on the experience. There is!
What is that pose?
You know, just hands behind your back, casually.
It's a JoJo reference.
Soseki literally is a JoJo.
Mr. Okai Mori. I believe he studied in Germany.
Mr. Mori, pray tell us more of the fellow.
Today, he's a very successful author in Japan.
Oh, I've heard of him. He's the professor who wrote My Hime, isn't he?
My Hime?
I suppose in English the title would be Dancing Queen, maybe?
Oh, I see. A tale of a woman who waltzed her way through the world, perhaps.
Mamma mia.
Here we go again.
You didn't need to make up silly translation, you know. It's already officially called the Dancing Girl in English. It seems Mr. Mori greatly enjoyed his time in Germany. He became close with a local lady while he was there. Close, you say? Wait, local lady? A compatriot's criminally contradictory conduct.
Well, I suppose your experience of studying abroad depends to a large extent on your character.
As they say, many men, many names.
Mr. Mori has an open mind. Mr. Natsume, a closed one.
Possibly a slightly black and white view, don't you think, Mr. Sholmes?
Well, anyway, if that's how you feel about being abroad, why did you choose to study here?
Wasn't it to further our nation's understanding of the English language or something?
Yes, that's right.
So what were you doing in Japan before you came to Great Britain, then?
I was a school teacher, of English, of course.
Hang on, she's fact-checking.
A bit cursory, perhaps, but I've managed to discover some information about Mr. Natsume's teaching days.
Oh god, she's actually fact-checking! That's just a little outside the field of law, isn't it, Mr. Sato?
Ryunosuke calling out asking the questions that we're all just wondering about with the book.
Well, let me pose you a question, Mr. Naruhodo. If you had to translate the English phrase, I love you, into Japanese, what would it become?
That's easy. Aishiteru or Sukidesu.
Wrong. According to Mr. Natsume's teaching, at least.
What?
Would you like to explain, Mr. Natsume? Yes, of course. Your research was very thorough. I always used to tell my students that we Japanese don't express ourselves that way. Rather, we might say, "Tsuki ga kirei desu ne."
My dear
Mr. Natsume,
Why
I
did
must
I read-
interject.
Hold on.
Why
Why did I suddenly read Herlock?
Why
There's
did you?
there was no reason for that.
Also, why did Mr. Natsume say the moon looks beautiful?
That's actually a common phrasing in Japanese, weirdly enough.
Okay.
It is actually a very common phrasing for saying I love you.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know why I started saying Chom's lines. There was no reason for it.
Did you want to voice Soseki? Did you miss voicing someone with?
No! I mean, if anything, I should be interrupting you, Louis, the most!
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know why you did it. I don't know. I got
I
nothing.
think File did read it while I was laughing, so...
Tsuki ga kirei desu ne would translate as the moon is beautiful, isn't it?
Okay, He can't even say, say katakana or hiragana. I remember in the second case, where it was just like, oh yeah, I know those funny Japanese words, and he didn't say, I think he messed up saying katakana or something, but he knows this?
He's been sitting on a throne of Japanese books this entire time.
I know that! The point is that we Japanese are reticent when it comes to expressing our emotions. We prefer to show our feelings of adoration, or tsuki, by appreciating the beauty of the moon, the tsuki.
Ah, using the Suki to express Suki. It's an amazing play on words, I see.
No! In language you might understand better. Bad shows! It's not a play on words. It's subtle. It's humble. It's reflecting a beautiful... It's art!
Isn't it just being shy?
My dear fellow, the foreign dancing girl will forever be out of your reach with such an attitude.
Oh my god.
We're literally gonna watch Soseki have a midlife crisis at the rate Shomes is going.
Didn't he have one already?
He's gonna have another one!
Imagine how the great Mr. Mori would act. He would win the lady's heart in a flash with a well-placed and unrestrained "I love you."
That smooth Mr. Mori! Am I destined to live in his shadow forever?
Just what sort of man is he in that imagination of yours?
I relate to Sasaki a lot right now.
The fact is, I just can't settle in this foggy London town for all its forts and inhabitants. I've lost count of the number of different lodging I tried to find, but before I found myself here. As it happens, I even lived on Baker Street at one time.
No, really?
A Sao scholar lives near there, a man by the names of William James Craig.
Does that name sound familiar?
Well, someone are free to look it up.
But I'll be right back. You keep reading.
His knowledge of Sao is unsurpassed. He's been a great inspiration to me over the...
Forgive the interruption, but am I supposed to be familiar with this Sao of which you speak?
So you know of Tsuki, but you don't know of this? It's Shakespeare, of course. Shakespeare. But in Japanese, we write Sa as Sa and O.
Yeah, so he said it, but yeah, he was basically an editor of Shakespeare's plays who produced the first Oxford Shakespeare for the Oxford University Press.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Lived from 1843 to 1906.
Gotcha. All right, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's cool to know.
So, Seki, you know a lot of cool people. Why do you want to leave?
It's a phonetic representation using kanji characters, so England is Igirisu and America is America.
Come to think of it, we use the same characters as Ri in one word and Risu in another. Talk about confusing.
So Shakespeare is Sao in Japanese. Presumably the Sa is a brutal attempt at the first Sha, in which case, where is the Keyspear? Kespear.
I never thought of that. We only have the O left.
Which could, even in the most charitable interpretation, only be a brutal attempt at old man.
No, you're thinking too English.
So this actually makes a lot more sense
Yep.
if we were actually playing this in Japanese with the Japanese text, because this is actually referring to kanji.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're specifically referring to, like, I think the kanji that they use for the O is old man, I believe.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then the Sa, I believe, is comes from the word playwright.
Yes.
Okay,
The
I'm
kanji's-
just completely lost.
Yeah, so,
Old playwright. So his name just translates to old playwright.
yes.
Yeah. And it
it's-
makes sense because he's like one of the greatest, so it's just kind of like we'll just give him his own title.
Something easy for people to say instead of Shakespeare or whatever they want. But anyway, but yeah, this would make a lot more sense if we could actually see the kanji for it, because that's all it is. It's just the kanji for old man and the kanji for playwright put together makes shao. You know, that's what they did.
So Sholmes can read some kanji.
Apparently, and according to this context, yes.
It seems to me that whoever had the job of deciding on the characters for his name got bored very early on.
Complete kanji character catastrophe!
I will give this localization an A+ at the attempt of trying to translate this particular this particular escapade, though.
I have to do the arm motions anytime Soseki does them.
Hey, you too?
Yep.
So then, on to the burning question. What about me? How do you write my name?
What's the kanji for idiot?
There's not even a kanji for that. You can just use some kana for that.
Sorry?
Herlock Sholmes, my dear fellow. There must be a Japanese characters for my name.
Oh dear, I'm sorry, Mr. Sholmes, but none exists that I'm aware of.
What? Am I really nothing to you Japanese?
Yes.
In that case, it is of paramount importance. You must construct my name in kanji at once.
Oh, well, we could use a kanji that's pronounced so to start with, and then use one more to give Sho, perhaps? I think that would be about right, Mr. Sholmes.
I feel like I need to...
no. no.
I kind of want to... I want to look this up because it is Sherlock Holmes in the original Japanese, so I'm just like...
I think the idea what they're going for, and I can't say for certain, but the so I want to believe is coming from investigates. And they're just using the old man again. So investigating old man.
No, that's right. I do remember the original. There was old man still in the in that, so
But that's almost the same as Sal, isn't it?
Yes, you employed the dreaded O. I don't want people to confuse me with an old man who died centuries ago.
I'm sure the world's greatest literary figure would rather not be confused with you either.
ooh, the burn.
Though the world's greatest detective is still youthful and full of vigor, so how about so handsome?
Oh my god.
That's not
That's
kanji.
Yeah.
That's
Not with that attitude.
Oh yes, that sounds wonderful. Don't agree with him. I'm sure everyone will be calling you that in 100 years from now.
No.
We're not.
How could she say that with a straight face?
What about me then? Iris, perhaps Aihime, since the second character doesn't seem to matter.
You want to be the love princess. Okay.
Yes,
Aihime? Oh yes, Princess of Love. That's an adorable name for you, Iris.
I think
Okay, but that's
cute.
actually cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
Stop! Please! Oh, a name like that! Mr. Mori is like to turn up any moment and rashly declare, I love you!
To a 10-year-old? This Mori-san has become quite a character in Soseki-san's mind.
And you, Mr. Naruhodo, might I venture Kurobozu as a fitting name for you? As in the Dark Monk.
What?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's very good. It describes you perfectly, Runo.
Seriously, what's the kanji for idiot?
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure there is none. I think they just use kana because it's insulting you to use kana instead of having an actual.
Alright, then I'm changing my question. What is the kana for idiot?
Okay, never mind. There is some kanji. It uses the kanji for horse and deer because you're an idiot animal.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god.
Oh!
But most people do not use that kanji because why bother of having to write super fancy kanji when you're calling someone stupid?
Ah,
Thank you for sharing us this little detail.
I love it.
Welcome.
I love it so much. So you think I'll be wearing this black varsity uniform for the rest of my days, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo already has a Japanese name. I don't believe he needs another.
Man, my Facebook decided to go crazy at the worst time. But anyway,
Well, anyway, we were talking about your life here in London, weren't we, Mr. Natsume? You should just get out and have fun.
I don't think this man knows how to have fun.
The landlady has said so much to me too.
Mrs. Garadeb?
Oh god, is she gonna show up?
oh my god.
But it wasn't fun at all. It was frightful. Whatever do you mean? A cycle incident!
Oh my god, what?
An incident? On a bicycle? Oh, yes, come to think of it.
Ah, that bicycle that's sitting outside!
There's an old bicycle park just outside, isn't there? It's in a sorry state, though.
I tried to say no to her, but she insisted I took it, and said I took it for a ride. Perhaps my pronunciation was wrong.
How do you mispronounce no?
Okay, so that actually would tie into Japanese because there are different ways to say no in Japanese depending on what kind of characters are being used.
Yeah, but I assume that he's trying to say it in English because he's an
I
English
know.
teacher.
I know, but notice I just said I know?
Oh, you know what? You know what? You know what? Okay. Alright. I see you. I see you.
So I took my life in my hands and attempted to ride the steel spider web stallion to a nearby park.
Spiderweb stallion?
It got bitten by a radioactive spider.
I really don't think there's anything wrong with your pronunciation, Mr. Natsume.
Joan Garadeb just isn't the kind of woman to take no for an answer.
If you're going to die, you might as well die in beautiful surroundings. So the park was my first thought.
Why were you thinking about death?
It was a web death machine. After a whole day of dicing with death, I emerged only relatively minor bruises.
So, you got the knack of it?
Don't be silly! Dying isn't something you can learn to do.
You know what? I don't think going back to Japan is going to help him. I think it's going to be just as terrible for him in Japan.
Mr. Natsume, you keep talking about dicing with death and dying and so forth, but... riding a bicycle is supposed to be fun.
No. I relay with Soseki on this one.
Oh no, that's just what people tell you. But it's an old wives' tale.
You know what? I think I'm with Shomes on this one.
I'm with Soseki on this. I hate riding bikes.
I'm with
It's
Shomes
scary.
on this one. It's not
scary.
that London sucks, it's that you're just a coward. Okay.
It's scary to ride bikes.
I have no
Is it?
opinion on this because I do like riding bikes, so I'm actually a little bit more terrified of rollerblades.
Oh, see, that I can deal with. That's fine.
See,
No,
there you
I-
go.
Deal with either.
I like riding bikes, but I hate anything where like my feet are strapped down in any way. So rollerblades, snowboards, that kind of thing.
Well, snowboards are completely different.
But the point is, your feet are strapped down to something. Like it feels like it takes control away from me in some way.
You have control of both legs with rollerblades. Anyways,
Yeah, but your feet are literally not attached to the ground.
you're not
I got-
attached to the ground when you're on a bike either.
I was always terrified that like if I broke with rollerblades, that I would fall forward and like break my face. When I was a kid.
I'm glad this has brought up so many core memories for everyone.
I'm just stunned by all my bad memories.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I read this.
Oh.
I mean, just consider the real name of the vehicle.
Oh.
It's not called a bicycle for nothing.
Oh my god, Soseki!
I know exactly where he's going with this. Oh my goodness.
How anyone expects to use such aptly named vehicle to move forward is just beyond me.
Is this?
Pedal power promises pain.
I'm assuming this is like in kanji. It's pronounced like that.
This is actually going to be more of a pronunciation thing than anything else.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, sorry, it's not visible for anyone watching this. I was actually looking back at the old Japanese script from my Hikari when she translated for the Great Ace Attorney back in the day when we were doing stuff. I actually did just find the DLC, and I just put in the kanji for Shakespeare.
Oh.
That's Shakespeare. I'm looking for the other one for Mr. Shomes right now while we're doing this.
Alright.
So wait a second. Is he just been mispronouncing bicycle this whole time?
I guess so!
Not entirely, but we'll probably get to that.
I didn't think it was possible to get worse with practice. I'm lucky to be alive! Although, I must say, after looking death in the eye for a whole week, I did at least manage to mount the steed reliably. And notwithstanding a few wobbles, I found I could make progress in the forward direction.
You just need to learn how to ride a bike, dude. That's it.
I don't like riding bikes, they scare me.
Oh, oops.
What a triumph.
Deduction is much the same. When first presented with a problem, the mental exertion of trying to solve it only leads to bitter disappointment. But after a week of picking one's way carefully along the path of reasoning and thought, one begins to see results.
So, is that why all of your off-the-cuff deductions always seem half-baked?
Oh, now why don't you?
What a wonderful insight into your extraordinary mind, Mr. Shrums.
Don't! God.
Unfortunately, after wobbling down the street, I noticed there were little stones everywhere.
Herlock
Death
is like,
traps.
Herlock to Sasato is like Maya to the Steel Samurai or something.
Not that way, I said to myself. but the wild vehicle wouldn't listen. It rambled me on and on down the street. So of course, I hit one of those deadly stones, and the crazy coat threw me. It's just my luck. Bicycles are the epitome of my pitiful life.
I wish I could disagree.
Ryunosuke also doesn't like bikes.
On the same subject,
Which is kind of ironic, because Phoenix rides bikes all the time to get to work.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a famous American author who's written about a similar experience.
Oh yes, I've read that essay too, Iris.
Some of us are better read than others.
You just collect trinkets. Read stuff.
Well, no more bicycles for me. Oh, Mr. Natsume, at least you have an interesting anecdote to take with you back to Japan, if nothing else.
You always manage to put a positive spin on things, don't you, Miss Susato?
Personally, I haven't mounted a bicycle for some time.
No, me neither.
That's good.
So how about a jaunt? We shall all ride out together.
Huh?
It sounds great. I'll perch behind Miss Susato.
So you're not gonna actually ride?
No, he's terrified of him.
The sun is going down. It will be pitch black before long.
London street lamps are very bright, you know, and the fog isn't too thick today.
And my beloved ride is all bent out of shape.
My dear fellow, if you are bound to topple the vehicle anyway, it's fitting that it's already bent out of shape.
It's settled then. Come along, Mr. Natsume. Shall we go?
Tsuki ga kirei desu ne.
Don't tell me that's his translation of no thank you as well.
Indeed, Mr. Natsume, the moon is at its most beautiful at precisely this time in the evening.
Oh.
We're not Japanese. You can't beat around the bush with us.
What a weird and wonderful world!
So yeah, I just slapped the kanji in here so I can slap the kanji back into the video later. It's just gonna sound
By the
weird out of
way-
context, but you know, yes.
Did you know what author and essay they were referring to? Because I do.
Is it Mark Twain?
Yeah, it's Mark Twain.
That's what I thought.
Wait, where?
Taming the
At what-
Bicycle.
Oh, with the bicycle?
Yeah, no. It's called Taming the Bicycle by Mark Twain.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's
I didn't
An
read.
essay from the
So-
1880s.
I don't read a lot of English like classics, so it's over my head. I think we did read one Mark Twain book in school, but like I don't even remember what the title of the book is anymore, man.
Well, one of the only reasons I remember it is because like Taming the Bicycle is the first time I saw a picture of like that like silly looking bike that has like the giant front wheel and the small back wheel.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
just went. It's the time period. Who's the most famous American author right now? Probably Mark Twain.
Well, I'm glad you guys are here to reference that, because I totally didn't catch that, because I didn't really grow up reading a lot of English classics, so.
And I'm just naturally dumb.
I'll answer one thing because of the whole bicycle thing. I'm not sure how the Japanese script did it, but my understanding, based on everything, the Japanese word for bicycle is jitensha. The Japanese word for death is shi. And when you put characters together for compound words, like jitensha is technically a compound word of self-driving machine, shi can also become ji. So in that context, him saying bicycles is basically him substituting the kanji for self, the kanji for death.
Well.
Okay.
I'm looking. Okay, see, this is the part where I would actually have to flip open the actual Japanese game instead of the script, because the script doesn't actually.
So basically, Instead of saying self-driving machine, he's been saying death machine this whole time.
Yes.
That's my understanding based on the context of the English script. They might have changed that from the Japanese script, so it might be slightly different.
I mean, we got a little bit of time. We don't have a whole lot left. I'm gonna just go ahead and see if I can find my old footage, because then we can go find it.
One eternity later.
Okay. So he doesn't say Daisuko, but he says Tendo Jigoku, which would translate to a falling over hell.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Yeah.
there's hell? Falling
Yep,
over hell, the bicycle.
And I'm surprised. I was like, that's hell. I know that right away. I didn't know the other.
Alright, we're all done here. We're good. Thank you all for dropping in. I know Lewis is BRB, but that's okay. I think he's
I'm
cool.
here.
Oh, hey, welcome back. We figured it out. It took us a bit, but we figured it out because kanji is hard.
It's falling over hell. The 8th level of hell they don't tell you about.
Yes. Also, we learned, Lewis, if you BRB'd when it happened, Soseki does actually say baka with kanji in the Japanese version.
Oh my
I think
God.
the discrepancy between that is that with kanji, it's meant to be, hey, you're being foolish, whereas if you're using with kana alone, it's you're an idiot.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Well,
But
either one
also,
applies
he's a
to
writer,
Sean,
so
it's
you know
fine.
what? I
Yeah.
don't know about him.
We are learning a lot of different things from this episode today. This episode's gonna drag for a bit, and honestly, that's okay. I feel like I've learned a lot today. So we will be back for the last 2 in the next video. Well, obviously there's only be 1 in the next video, but you get the idea. We only have 2 left, and then we can finally go into the Great Ace Attorney 2. We'll see you all then. Yay!